Well, hello and good day, influencers. Hello and good day. Welcome to day 6 in our 12-day series on 12 ways to dominate in the new year. This is about positioning yourself to self-discovery and development, business discovery and development to help you propel, launch, and execute your dream, your God-given assignment. And it is my honor to serve you and support you on this journey in life and business. So, thank you for allowing me in your space. It is day 6. Day 6 is all about reflection. We got to go back to reflection. We got to go back to reflection, but we are going to focus in on our quarterly goals because the purpose of our time together is for you to get clarity and focus about your next steps, what it is that you want to do, why you want to do it, and how you're going to do it. How are you going to be intentional about creating the narrative of your life? How are you going to be intentional with shifting the trajectory of your life and your business? You growing, right? You being intentional about who you are and you meeting your desires, you meeting your goals, you meeting your expectations, you living an abundant life. And it begins with our mindset. And you're here because you're called, you're chosen. You know that you have purpose. You know that you have purpose and you want to live in your purpose on purpose. Come on here. So I'm going to help you with just practical tips and strategies that you can begin to implement throughout your life, throughout your life and give yourself permission to flourish. Give yourself permission to be successful. Give yourself permission to do it and do it scared, but do it with strategy, confidence. Give yourself grace on this journey. So day 6 is about reflection of our quarterly goals because I want you to achieve your goals and I want to support you in doing so. So when we talk about reflection of your quarterly goals, I have to go back to day 2. Day 2, we were talking about reflection and we were talking about the different types of reflection. We know that there are 2 types of reflection. However, we want to be intentional with reflecting on our lives, on our goals, right? We want to be intentional with reflecting with intention and purpose and honesty, right? And so in order for us to dominate in the new year, in order for us to be successful in our own right by accomplishing our goals, manifesting our goals and accomplishing our goals, that's the hard part. We don't give ourselves grace. We don't give ourselves permission to accomplish the goals. And when we do accomplish the goal, we're right on to the next thing. We haven't given ourselves permission to just grasp the moment, to embrace the moment, to be present in the moment, to really think about what it is that you have achieved, that you took out time to achieve, the sacrifices that you made. And the reason why I say this is because I am guilty of doing this, just going from one goal to the next and not really giving myself permission to just sit back and really reflect on what it is that I am doing and have done in my life and in the marketplace. I am in remission going on 3 to 4 years now, and I never took out the time to just embrace that journey because it was a journey. And I've never given myself permission to just simply take out time to embrace what it is that I had to overcome to get through that experience. The aches, the pains, the lack of sleep, the radiation, the blood transfusions, and all the things that I had to endure. I never gave myself permission to just embrace it and be present after it was all done. I'm not giving myself permission to do that until this year coming, 2022. I put a date on the calendar where I want to celebrate my life. I want to celebrate my living legacy. I want to celebrate who I am today and what I had to experience to get to this place today. I'm giving myself permission to do that. And so I said all that to say sometimes we have to just sit back and really ponder on what it is that we have already accomplished and achieved, the success that we have already generated throughout our lives because we have persevered. We've gone through trial and tribulation. We've gone through heartache and pain, but yet we're still here to talk about it. Come on here. So that is success in its own right, right? So I said all that to just give yourself permission to be more present with your life and your well-being. You're not here by chance. You're here in purpose. So we want to be intentional with reflecting. We want to be intentional with reflecting on our life purpose and goals. So what is that going to look like? We're going to reflect with intention, right? Intention means to actively plan for and methodically execute the reflection process. So this is about you taking action. This is about you getting in position. And so you have to begin to what? Analyze. You got to begin to analyze. We talked about that in day 2 with reflection. So you got to begin to ask the critical questions. You got to begin to ask the hard questions. You got to begin to get accountable with self, right? So what are those questions going to look like for you when we get still and get quiet and begin to really line up our year and begin to be strategic and methodical? Okay, now I'm going to break those goals that I have for the year and I'm going to break them up into the quarter. That's being effective in your goal setting. You're not trying to do everything at once. You're giving yourself the time to focus. So that is very important. So when you break those goals into quarterly goals, now you got to begin to reflect. You got to begin to ask yourself the hard questions. How can you improve the structure of your business, right? What products or services were not profitable? If those of you who are in the marketplace, right? Did you meet your revenue goals each quarter? If you did not, why? Right? What products and services were profitable? Go back and look at the data, right? What frustration seems to plug you over and over again? Right? What did you try and you failed at? Those of you who, this is a personal journey. This is about your self-discovery and development, right? So what did you try and you failed at? What was that? Give it sound. What was that experience? We got to begin to acknowledge again and be present about our life experiences, right? What did you start and not finish? What seemed to be working, but you stopped before you even got started? We got to ask ourselves the critical, hard questions in order to release and relinquish that habit that's not serving you or your purpose. This is about our habits. This is about the things that we do without thought. This is about our routine. And when we can begin to disrupt those patterns and behaviors, we will be successful. We will achieve our goals. Okay, so what are you looking forward to in 2022? What are you looking forward to in the next year? What is that going to look like for you? I want you again to get clarity and focus about what that is. After you have analyzed the data, after you have given yourself permission to TNN, what is that? TAA, what does that stand for? Track, assess, and adjust. Once you have given yourself permission to track, assess, and adjust your life, you are always going to be in a position to track, assess, and adjust. This is your lifestyle. It's not written in print. You have permission. You have permission to explore and build and create the lifestyle that you want. That comes with error. That comes with failure. But when we don't learn to embrace it's natural. When we don't embrace the natural emotions and we look at it as I'm a failure, then that's the problem. So we always want to be in a position to track, assess, and adjust. And as long as we are tracking our life. We're tracking those routines. We're tracking those patterns and behaviors. We're tracking our thoughts. We're tracking the data of those products and services that may not be profitable. And we're going to figure out why. Was it in the strategy? Was it in the ads? What was the problem? And we're going to get to the core of it. We're going to get to the core of how we can begin to structure and improve our business. All right. So reflection is very, very important. Give yourself permission to just get still, get quiet, and really find out what that looks like for you. Okay. So next, as you begin to reflect on your quarterly goals, what are the quarterly goals? What are the quarterly goals? What are the quarterly goals? I ask you that because you have to have clarity. So what are going to be the goals for just quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four? Okay, for example, my goal is I want to create a website. All right, that's the goal. So then in that goal, there is going to be objectives. That is your task. Those are the things that you are going to begin to do to reach the goal, create your website, right? So you're going to need a start date. You're going to need a date when you are going to be committed to this task. You're going to start it. What's going to be the end date of when you want it complete? It's very important to examine your calendar because your calendar will keep you organized. It will keep you concise. So you need a start date. You need an end date, right? Because you are creating a website. Okay. What are the tools necessary? What are the tools needed to create the website? You may need a website designer. You may need a logo, of course. You're going to need to know your niche. You're going to need to know your payment processor. You're going to need to know your brand colors. These are all things that you are going to need to know. So you're going to have to do your research. Network within your community, right? But what are the tools that you are going to need? A CRM, a client relationship management tool. Again, what are you going to need? What are the tools that you are going to need? Do you need any training to go with this? That's optional, but I always suggest that you ask that question. Be in practice of asking myself, do I need assistance? Do I need to sharpen my skills? Do I need to enter into that webinar to learn the skills that I may not know? Right? So always ask yourself that question. Do I need any training? That's optional. If you do, sign up. If you don't, move on. Next, you want to think about your budget. Always think about your budget. What is this goal going to consist of with my budget? Because there are always free platforms or free ways that you can do what it is that you need to get done just to get started. This is not about perfection, but you want to get started. So there are quality products for free that you can use to get started. But in this goal, we're talking about creating a website. So now I know my start date's going to be February 1st. My end date's going to be March 1st. I want to have it completed by March 1st to create my website. So I know I may need a designer. Those are my tools and resources that I'm going to need. I need a website designer. I need a CRM. I need a payment processor. I need to know my brand colors. I need to know my niche. I need to know exactly what it is that I'm serving, offering, right? Is it a physical product or is it service based? Those are the things you need to be asking yourself. And when you get clarity about that, what is your budget to make this goal happen? My goal, 1,200 for the website. Great. Bam. That is your action plan. Hello, that consists of a goal. It consists of your objectives. You know you need to hire a website designer. You know you need a CRM. You know you need a logo. You know you need a payment processor. So those are the things that are going to go into what? Your budget. Or you're going to begin to research and explore different avenues on how it's going to work for you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your action plan. That is how you formulate and create your goals and strategically outline it. So, what are you going to do within your quarter? What are you going to begin to do? You're going to TAA, track, assess, and adjust. Give yourself permission to choose to live. So, this is how you reflect on your quarterly goals with intention and honesty. This is how you begin to manifest and create success in your own right. All right. So, reflection of quarterly goals, just to recap, this is a very brief training. Some of you, this is just a reminder, this is just a refresher, and that's great. But for some of you, you are really taking a huge risk with doing some great things for the next year. You're about to start that podcast, you're about to write that book, you're about to launch your t-shirt line, or you're about to open up your boutique. Oh my gosh. Yes, so you are definitely going to have to be in the practice of having a clear action plan every quarter, having a start date, a complete date, your tools, your training, if any, and a budget. If you don't start anywhere, start with those 5 components. Okay, and know what your focus points are, your goals for that quarter. And I always suggest you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many goals within a quarter. Be realistic and logical about those goals. Remember, go back to the objectives within that goal. Those tools and everything, the resources that you need that go involved with that, that all matters. Remember, those objectives are your task. So be realistic. So I always say, you know, 3 to 5 goals for each quarter is reasonable. It's reasonable when you're strategic and you are really operating from your action plan. All right. So if you have any questions, it would be my pleasure to serve you and answer any questions that you may have. If you are stuck, you're like, listen, I need assistance. I need that extra additional support. Listen, go to choosetolivesociety.com and contact us and let's have a conversation. Let's schedule a free discovery session and let's have a conversation on how you can get clarity and focus about your next steps moving forward. Until next time, influencers, choose to live and reflect with honesty and intention.